Should we jump into it? We got some stuff to talk about today.
We do.
Here we go.
A moment to Reddit.
Welcome to another rendition of A Moment to Reddit, brought to you by the Mortal Kombat. My name is Nathan, and this is...
My name is Zachary.
On this edition of Moment to Reddit, if you don't know what that is, it's when we go on to Reddit and just start searching of the most recent, over the last month, topics around religious trauma, atheism. We just kind of do a deep dive on our own together or separately into seeing what's out there, what people are saying publicly. A lot of Reddit seems to be anonymous, so people are getting some things off their chests that are rather wild at times. And there's a significant amount of religious trauma in the internets, and so there's always something to talk about on Reddit.
Yeah.
Let's
jump in.
Let's jump right on in, baby. Our first post comes from the thread Atheism, which is a freaking phenomenal thread. There's just, people are nuts on there. I love it. User Solo 13508 says, why are so many Christians offended by the most basic science? Interesting question.
It is.
They say, when it comes to things like the Big Bang, I get it. Events like that directly interfere with what Christians believe in. But even basic science will get them so mad sometimes. I grew up in what one would consider the Bible Belt of America, and in almost all of my science classes, one of my classmates would get offended by something over Christianity. Like, we're talking weather patterns or animal behaviors, basic stuff like that. It got so bad that in my AP Bio class, the teacher had to give a disclaimer that basically went like, you don't have to believe in what I'm teaching. Just write down the stuff I tell you to write down and you'll do fine. It's so ridiculous to me. How can you get so tied up in religion that even the most basic facts are so offensive to you?
Well said. Thank you, Mr. Solo. Or Mrs. Solo. Or Solo in general.
Yeah, or they. Well done.
Thank you.
Here in Mortal Kombat, we are always correcting our pronouns.
In depth, we try our best.
Why are Christians always offended of the most basic science? Which is a generalization, right? I don't think all Christians, not all Christians, there's so many Christians I know that actually are pretty damn smart.
Yeah.
It's just true. But they're still born again Christians. We know that this is true in our own family.
Yeah. Science and Christianity don't mesh well.
Why?
Because science doesn't try to prove there's a God, and science doesn't believe the Bible is based off of logic.
I think science is trying to prove there's a God, but that's the thing, that it hasn't yet.
Yeah.
So it's like there isn't.
Yeah.
Until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
So I think you're talking about logic.
Yeah, there's logic in science, and there's no logic in Christianity. It's faith. It's faith-based. And so when you're like, oh, hey, well, schooling is going to be logical, and you are a faith-based student, you're going to be very conflicted when the logic starts to hit your faith, because everything's logic over here. And if there's not much logic over here, these are going to clash. And it always is. I mean, in our upbringing, evolution was like the worst thing that could ever be taught to children.
And we touched on that when we watched the Jesus Camp documentary, right? There was that whole scene about the mother that was talking about what you would do if it was teaching you evolution, all of that. It seems that like the most basic of science, it's detrimental to the Christian faith, right? Like basic science, it conflicts so directly with the Christian faith. That's why it's so offensive. That's why it's so dangerous. All right. So Rob Ackerson says, because accepting some science gives validity to the science that disproves their insane worldview. That's exactly what I was just saying. Yeah. There's a little bit of science proves the difference between faith and logic, really, right? Faith is believing without seeing. So you're believing in something that you ultimately can't prove.
And science is believing if you see it.
But yeah, prove it however it looks.
Prove it, yeah.
Ogre MK5 says, honestly, it's because they have no actual faith. They know they are supposed to believe in the Bible stuff, but they never see the Bible stuff actually happen. They see cars and airplanes and satellite data every day. When they say Bible stuff, I'm assuming like miracles or...
So yeah, like the miracles that happen in the Bible aren't actually happening in today's world.
They see cars and airplanes and satellite data every day. They can't just accept that their most fundamental beliefs are in dispute, much less wrong. So they do the only thing that they can, which is attack science. And it looks batshit insane to us, but it makes perfect sense to them. When was the last time you experienced talking with a religious person about some basic science stuff that
I have multiple conversations with Christians, we'll just leave it that way, that believe global warming is a hoax. And they will say that sentence out loud. And they've been saying that for 15 years. It's all about money. It's just a money game. It's a hoax. And it's just proven by science multiple times that it's not a hoax by any means. That's a very common conversation I have with the Christians in my life.
There's like a bleed too politically into like this culture, right? It's like it bleeds into other things.
The movie Don't Look Up does a great job at like demonstrating kind of that ignorance of
Adam McKay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great film.
Super good film.
I mean, we're all so easily manipulated. I think like none of us can escape the possibility of being, I don't want to say brainwashed, but like convinced simply otherwise, or how to fall into religion or how to not fall, but like how somebody with a rather sound mind and intelligence can become religious, having a science background. That happens, and it's like, how does that happen? It's because the whole entire religion is based on trying to get you to, like, you have to deny science to be able to be a Christian and to reap the benefits of the Christian faith. You can't really, it's hard to like bleed over, which I guess there's more modern Christianity now.
You have to look at what is the Christianity, what does the church offer? And it offers community, and it offers community on a weekly basis. That's what it offers. And I think some people that are intellectuals that kind of fall victim to the church, or fall victim to, I became a Christian and how did I get here? I was a scientist and I was an atheist most of my life, and this isn't really that logical, and I believe it. It's like, well, you were pulled into a church with people trying to express as much love as possible to you in community that are going to meet every Sunday and give you this same amount of community every Sunday that you're not getting anywhere in your life. So if your family's not giving you this love, if your scientific community's not giving you this love, if just your friends aren't giving you this love, but you find it at a church, it'd be pretty easy to think that this Jesus thing must be real. Look at this love I'm getting in this community.
Also fear. Yeah, community, friends, husband, wife, finding the love, all of that you can find that at the church, that's for sure. And it's also so fear-based. But yeah, I agree with Solo 13508. It's frustrating. Sometimes there's like a hard stop with people. That's like the hard line in our family. That's why we don't talk religion and politics. And we still talk science, but it's so easy for certain conversations for me to feel like to be able to accept certain religious individuals in our family, to be at peace with this relationship and to grow with the relationship. Conversations around science and politics and all of that are where it's like we draw the line.
It depends on what part of science we're talking about. If we're talking about like a new scientific discovery, not going to be an issue. If we were talking about something with space and not going to be an issue, we're all going to be interested in it. We talk about anything to do with the weather and why it's changing so drastically, there's probably going to be some sort of issue, and we just don't talk about it.
It's true.